What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, August 8th, and this is episode 29 of The Daily Comic. I'm Jimmy Bird. This is a show where I read one comic book a day, and then come here and tell you what I thought about that comic. Today's comic is Fantastic Four, issue number 1. That's right, the comic the whole world's been waiting for, apparently. Marvel, with a big midnight release last night, trying to get the hype, showing us that they feel this book is important, or at the very least, they feel this comic book should be important to us. It's been over 3 years since we've had a Fantastic Four comic book, at least in the sense of all of them together. Right now there's a current run of Marvel's 2-in-1 that has The Thing and Human Torch running around doing crazy adventures. So, all in all, here's Fantastic Four number 1, and I wasn't blown away. For as much hype there was behind this, I was not blown away by this comic. It's not a bad comic. It's a good comic. Dan Slott, who's writing it, is a very big Fantastic Four fan, so he's going to be very excited to take the helm and do a lot of great things with characters. But also, I think as a fan, he might get caught up in just like keeping things the way they are. I will tell you this, that this is not a reboot. This is not a new origin or any kind of crazy backstory, that this really is a continuation of the characters we saw years ago and what happened to them and where they're at and how they're going to get back together and how they're going to come back and reform the Fantastic Four. So there's nothing really new. There's a lot familiar in this comic. There's a lot of just, he draws from a lot of other stories, I almost feel like he had just this idea fishbowl on things that he's seen in other comics, and we pull that together. Now, the art's beautiful. It is Sara Pichelli doing the art. The artwork's really well. They're telling a really good story. Like, it's really cool to see these characters again. I think I mentioned before, in a world where the Avengers and the X-Men and everything's a big event, it's nice to have Fantastic Four to kind of cleanse the palette, if you will, to have a different set of the cast of characters, a different set of villains, a different set of adventures all together. It's going to be fun. But there's just something very familiar, and it's not, this one here is different in the fact that this one doesn't focus on otherworldly adventures or big, like, earth-shattering stuff, but it really focuses on the team and the family and the life of them trying to live in the world that we live in with these powers and abilities and live an everyday life. So it was fun to read, but they're not reinventing the wheel here. They're not blowing our minds. It just felt like Dan Slott literally just picked up some stories he saw from other comic books and kind of plugged in Fantastic Four characters in there. Now it's a really fun read. We also kind of get some more where has the villains been and all that stuff. He tries to do some stuff in the back that kind of he kind of saw some questions coming from the readers, and he wanted to give them something like, hey, chill out, relax, this is only issue 1. So again, I think we're going to have to read 3 or 4 issues before they really fell into place. This really felt like the first act of a bigger story and just kind of setting up some stuff. But again, I can't complain. Was it the hope? Was it the hype that I hoped for with the midnight sales going on across the country? No. But it's not a bad comic. Fantastic Four. Excited to have them back in the mix, which means not only will we get a Fantastic Four comic book, but hopefully we'll see them in other Marvel adventures. Like I said, it's just fun to have them back on the shelves. So, Fantastic Four out today, Wednesday, August 8th. Did you read it? Did you go out and grab a copy at midnight last night? What did you think? What are your thoughts on Fantastic Four issue number 1? What should I read next? You can put that in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Turn on notifications. And I will see you tomorrow with another comic. Have a great day.